Hey guys, welcome to Pest Startup 101, where we talk about all things pest control related. In this episode, we're going to talk about charging too low for a service. Did you ever charge too low for a stop and got in over your head and you took a loss? So we'll talk about things. We'll talk about that in this episode, and let's get the show started. Please remember to subscribe. We're going to be releasing episodes 3 times a week. We're shooting for Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then we're going to record some bonus content where we're going to interview technicians. We're going to interview business owners. We're going to interview managers, office employees, just to cover all bases in pest control field. All right, let's get the show started.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Pest Startup 101. So in this episode, we're talking about charging too low. So what we did was we offer free estimates over the phone. So estimates, of course, are not binding. They're an estimate. They describe their situation. You give them a rate. But then we got this. We went and gave an estimate that was a little too low. So, we get the call. Lady gives us a sob story. She's retired, and they always say, well, they're retired and they have a mouse in the basement. They're not sure. They think they saw one. And do we seal holes? And are we gonna come back if they catch a bug, a rodent? So, hey, what if you guys set up traps and then we catch something? You guys gonna come back? And then normally we say no. We do the initial service. We do a follow up, but because it's an elderly person, we sometimes assume, based on the area that we're in, that maybe they don't have anyone to go help them pick the rodent up. Some elderly people, they're not friends with their neighbors because maybe the neighbors have moved on, or they have new neighbors and they just never became friends. So those people are essentially alone. So we say, okay, yeah, we'll come back. Just call us. We can't guarantee we'll come back the same day when you call, but we'll try to make it the following day, so you may have to deal with the smell. So off the bat, I bet you guys want to know how much we were charging. So normally we charge for rodent service $289 for a one-time treatment. I'm gonna put the numbers out there. We're in New York, so I don't know if this is a little too high. Down south I know they charge a little less, or different areas. So we charge $289 plus tax for a one-time treatment. We do 30 or 60 day guarantee. It depends, situation, location. If it's an apartment or a house, it changes. So it's good to have a steady, like a set price list. But as far as the guarantee, it depends on the situation, or how many times the person wants us to come back. So if they want a set number, let's say they say, yeah, I want the guy to come back because I'm going to go on vacation. So if he could come back 2 times before we leave, just to make sure my wife is really nervous, and we'll say, yeah, we'll do the initial service, then we'll come back 2 more times within 5 to 7 days. We'll come back once, then we'll come back again 5 to 7 days, come again, and then that's it. Your service is over. We'll mark it up as a 30-day guarantee. So 30 days service guarantee from the initial service. So let's get back to the story. So this lady, she says she's retired. She wants people to come back to check on everything. She won't be able to pick it up if anything gets caught. Okay, so we go over there. It is a mansion. Huge. I mean, a huge out of the way mansion. So, I mean, literally, if you were going to spray this house, if you were going to spray the exterior, it would definitely take you 10-15 minutes to spray the exterior of the house. Now, if you're walking with a B&G around an average size home, it takes you maybe 5 minutes. And this house is 20, maybe more. 20 minutes. You have to walk. I mean, it's insane. So go down to the basement. It's incredible. It's so big, has so many rooms. And immediately I'm thinking, holy crap, she oh man, she got me. So because of the rate that I quoted, it was, average is 289. We told her 229. And then she asked about the senior citizens discount, where then she gets an additional 10% off. I'm like, oh wow. So go back to her and say, okay, we're here. We can definitely do the service today. But we're going to have to work on the price because this place is a lot bigger than our average size homes. Oh, no, this is the price that you quoted. And it says that your quote are firm. It's on your website. We've changed that, by the way. So on our website, it used to say our estimates are firm, and we're not going to be like those other companies that they bait you with a cheap initial service and they show up and they get you for more, Now I understand why these guys don't advertise that. It's because of situations like this. But yeah, so we said, yeah, of course. But your home is the size of 4 average homes. You're one home. So I mean, if we were going off square foot alone, you'd have to pay $1,000 for this kind of service. So what we will do is we will honor what we said. We'll treat the affected areas. We'll do an inspection. We'll inspect for droppings, and we only found droppings in the basement and below the kitchen sink and behind the stove and on the main level. The main level in the kitchen and the basement, 3 rooms, all pretty connected to below the kitchen area, and wall connecting to a garage, to a driveway, to garage/driveway space. There's like a little window there. So we said, okay, so we're going to treat the affected area, and then we'll place traps, and then we'll do the outside. Okay. So financially right there, we're okay. Then 2 days later, she calls, says, hey, I found some activity. I heard something. Can you please come back? And we say, okay, we'll be there in 24 hours. Does it matter the time, date? No, I'm home. I'm retired. Okay, our guy's going to come tomorrow. He's going to squeeze you in. He'll be in sometime before 1. She kept him there. We sent a different guy. Normally, whoever does the initial service has to go back and perform all future services unless they're off. So, yeah. So I was off. I was the guy that did the initial service. And we had to send another guy. She kept him there for an hour and 10 minutes. It was an hour and 10 minutes. She kept him there so long that I started receiving calls from his other stops. And then I was checking the GPS and refreshing to make sure that everything was working okay. So I didn't know what the hell was going on. He was still in the same place. And the lady's home is in such a remote area that the cell phone reception is spotty. So to get in touch with him, we had to call the customer's landline to get on the phone with him and ask him what the hell was going on. She spoke to him for 30 minutes before he can even go and replace or inspect a thing. She spoke to him for 30 minutes, gave him drinks, and I know this guy. He when he does stops, he's itching to get in and out. So for him to be there for an hour and 10 minutes, I knew something was wrong. But yeah, she walked him through the whole house. Took them almost an hour. By the time I spoke to him, an hour, and it was about an hour later, an hour into him being there, he still hadn't replaced a single trap. He was just inspecting every single room with her talking to him the whole time. So then he finally got to go do the service. Took him 10 minutes to change all the traps, check if any of the entry points. Nothing had been tripped. Nothing. There was no fresh droppings. She was just calling because she thought she heard something, and she thought she still had activity. We had to go a couple more times, and then thankfully her 30-day guarantee was up. She actually wanted to sign on for the year, so we quoted her a higher rate because we knew that it was going to be a headache. Based on the location, such a remote corner in her county. It was just, we had no other stops around there, and it was just going to be a headache. It's a 35-minute drive for the technician to get there. It's going to be out of his way, so we have to account for that. I mean, the good thing is that she's retired, so you can kind of put those stops in the beginning of the day or the end of the day, and then it doesn't affect your route too much because you're keeping them in the beginning. You can start off fresh, go knock that out, and then you start your day. So, this is just a questions for everyone. And, how do you guys charge how do you come up with your rates for service? So, in the future, we're going to be adjusting that, as we go along. We've been in business for over 15 years, but and I've worked for all the major companies. So I worked for a major company, I worked for a small company, and everyone in the pest control field knows the Big T. I don't want to say their name. I don't know how it works with saying other companies' names, but yeah. And I try to go off their price model when I first started, but it's just not feasible for an independent company. Not for a small startup. It's just impossible to charge those rates at that low rate, and then to provide a higher quality service than them, which is pretty easy to do. And I'll get to that in another episode. But to charge that low of a rate and then provide better service, to provide high quality, high standard service that will want people to continue with us for years, is just not possible to do it at that low rate. I mean, it's kind of possible, but then you have to pay your guys. You have to pay your guys nothing, and when you start paying your guys nothing, then they start working like they're getting paid nothing. So that's how that goes. But yeah, I mean, luckily we got through it. But once we added it up, you start adding things. You say, hey, let me see. You should know your numbers, as far as chemical usage, how much, everything costs. But once we, with this lady, because we had to go back multiple times, it was the initial service, and I believe we went back 3 more times. We actually came out losing. We actually ended up losing money. We ended up losing like $30, as far as money from what we get from that stop, and then the money that goes out into the supplies, into the gas, into paying the technician to go. This is not accounting for the extra follow-ups that we had to go there, and then another person calls and says, hey, I want a bed bug service, and I want it at this time. I need it right away, and we couldn't do it because this guy's so out of the way over here. I'm stuck with someone else over here, and it definitely killed us that month, but it's okay. Just be careful. There's an episode of just saying be careful how you rate, how you give your quotes. It's better off to go a little higher. Always go a little higher, and then just reduce it. You don't want to reduce it where you're looking like you were trying to scam them, and then you're just dropping the price. They're like, oh, he could have charged me that from the beginning. No, because when you charge people a low rate in the beginning, then they always want to go lower. So just whatever you feel comfortable with, and you can knock it down 5%. Say, hey, if you put your credit card on file, this is how we do it. If it's a year contract, you put your credit card on file, 5% off, pay the whole year up front, 10% off. 10% is a big number. So, when it comes to annual totals. So you just want to have like a little cushion and just hike it up a little before you do that. This is my first episode into this podcast. I'm going to be releasing more. I'm going to be interviewing people. So please go to our Instagram, follow us. It is Pest Startup 101. And you can also email us at peststartup101@gmail.com. And let us know if you're okay with us, you want to get interviewed. We'd love to interview you guys in the pest control field and ask you questions so we can all learn from each other. And I know you guys are on the road. Well, a lot of you are on the road, people listening. And I mean, all I do is listen to podcasts all day. I can't listen to the same 10 songs, that's in rotation all day. So I definitely have 3-4 podcasts, and I thought I'd give this a shot. So please consider subscribing. We will have a visual to the podcast coming very soon on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/peststartup101. It's all going to be connected, all the same. So as soon as an episode releases in the podcast, it'll also be available on YouTube. So thanks for listening, and goodbye.